Some new statistics have been released on the ad buys that various campaigns are doing in the Democratic primary. And this says a lot about what's wrong with politics. You're going to see what really is an attempt to just buy an election. I believe these numbers are originally from 538, but fear not, this is not Nate Silver giving his terrible opinions. This is just the numbers that have been released on ad buys. Number one in ad buys by about a mile and a half, Bloomberg. He's the orange there. That's insane. He's blowing everybody out of the water. It's not even close. Number two, Tom Steyer. That guy's number two. Ladies and gentlemen, two billionaires are the ones who are leading the pack with ad buys. You want to know why they're doing that and how they're doing that? They're doing that because they're fundamentally incapable of connecting with voters at the grassroots level like Bernie currently is doing right now. Bernie's got the ground game. Bernie's got the people knocking on doors. Bernie's got the people directly involved. If these billionaires, if Tom Steyer decided that he was going to go and do a rally somewhere, go and do an event, like 17 people would show up. Bloomberg, same thing. Deval Patrick just jumped in the race, and he went to an event at an HBCU, and nobody showed up at first, and then I think one or two people showed up when the event was already canceled because nobody showed up. And Deval Patrick is not, just to be clear, he's not a billionaire, but his policies sure do coincide with what they want. But all these people, they're empty suits. There's not that real grassroots support. So they're trying to buy their way into legitimacy. And guess what? It does work to a certain extent. In the case of Bloomberg, $37 million ad buy, the biggest in history. That's what he did. And then what happened? He absolutely made the media, on a dime, they turned around and started acting like, oh, he's a real serious candidate. He's really viable. Oh, he's going to appeal to everybody because, look, he's anti-gun, so the left people are going to like him. But then he's also, he's not fiscally too far left, so the moderates and Republicans might like him. This is all made up. This is all in their own world of theory. When the rubber hits the road, he doesn't have any real support. He doesn't have any grassroots support. But he bought legitimacy in the media. Now the media is going to pump out this narrative because they love that Bloomberg money because they're now funding the networks. And they might get it. These people might get a job in the future at Bloomberg News, so they know all this stuff. So they push out this narrative. He's a serious candidate. He's a real candidate. He's a real candidate. Then you turn on the TV, and in many states, all you see are Bloomberg ads. And so he's slowly but surely chipping away 1% in the polls, 2% in the polls, 3% in the polls. There's one poll that had him at 5 or 6%, and this guy's done nothing so far. Guys, he made a decision to skip the first 4 contests. Who does that? How arrogant. That's disrespectful to all the voters in those places. He just skipped them. I'm good. I'm just going to skip. I'll go right to Super Tuesday. The arrogance. And the fact that he has all this money and he could just spend it on the election does give him an advantage in the sense that he's buying legitimacy with the media and he's carpet bombing the airwaves with his ads and upping his name recognition, and it is effectively an attempt to buy an election. It is not equal. A billionaire is more equal than you and I. There's no doubt about that. They have more political power, more influence, and Steyer and Bloomberg, they're flexing that muscle, man. That's what they're doing. Now, ultimately, I think at the end of the day, he's just lighting money on fire, though, because I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But how gross is it that this is the way our system works? Reflect on this. If you had the exact same set of facts for Bloomberg, and you just say it's in another country, I believe U.S. media would refer to that person as an oligarch. They would say, If it was in Russia, Russian oligarch trying to buy the election. Anywhere else, fill in the blank. Any other country that we're not allies with. If you had a billionaire hop into a race late, carpet bomb the airways with a $37 million ad buy, and then the media immediately turned on a dime and started supporting him, you would say, oh, that's an oligarch buying influence, buying support, and in a weird way, making the media state TV, or at least moneyed interest TV. Oh, so gross. I mean, should that even be allowed? No, we need a clean election system, man. And that includes you shouldn't be able to just spend all your money on your own election. That's insane. We need a clean election system where there is no private money in the election, there is no corporate money, there is no billionaire money. You need a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics, and the way we should fund elections is through a democracy dollars type idea. And there have been many candidates who support this kind of stuff. Kirsten Gillibrand had it. Andrew Yang has it. I think a lot of the candidates are on board with this. That's definitely one of many pieces in election reform that should be done. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court has taken us down the wrong path, and here we are. Ultimately, you have a guy trying to buy the presidency.